These are 5 times the United States stood on the edge of civil war, nuclear destruction, political collapse, and pure chaos. Number 5. The Cuban Missile Crisis. In October 1962, U.S. spy planes discovered something terrifying: Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles from American soil. These missiles could hit U.S. cities in minutes. The Cold War suddenly became a ticking time bomb. For 13 days, the world held its breath. American military leaders urged President John F. Kennedy to launch airstrikes and invade. But Kennedy hesitated, knowing that one wrong move could trigger a global nuclear war. Behind closed doors, intense negotiations began. Finally, a secret deal was struck. The Soviets would remove their missiles from Cuba, and the U.S. would quietly withdraw its own from Turkey. The world stepped back from the edge, just barely. It was the closest we've ever come to nuclear war. Number 4. The Civil War of 1861. 11 southern states broke away from the country. They were fighting to keep slavery and their way of life. President Abraham Lincoln refused to let the Union break. War broke out, and it became the bloodiest conflict in American history. Over 600,000 people died. Major battles like Gettysburg turned towns into graveyards. Washington, D.C. was threatened. At one point, Confederate troops were within miles of the capital. For 4 years, it looked like America might never come back together. But the Union prevailed. Slavery was abolished. And though the nation survived, it was forever changed. Number 3. The Watergate Scandal. In 1972, 5 men were arrested for breaking into the Democratic National Committee offices at the Watergate Hotel. At first, it seemed like a minor crime, until reporters discovered the burglars had ties to President Nixon's re-election campaign. As investigations continued, Nixon and his aides were caught trying to cover it up. They paid hush money, pressured the FBI, lied to the public. But the truth kept coming. Then came the bombshell. Nixon had secretly recorded conversations in the White House. The tapes exposed him directing the cover-up. Facing impeachment, Nixon chose to resign, the first and only U.S. president to do so. It was a shocking moment. Many Americans lost faith in their leaders. But the system worked. Congress held him accountable. Number 2. The 9/11 attacks. On the morning of September 11, 2001, America was attacked like never before. 19 terrorists, members of the extremist group Al-Qaeda, hijacked 4 passenger planes. 2 were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York. A third hit the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. The 4th, likely headed for the Capitol or the White House, was brought down in a field in Pennsylvania after passengers fought back. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in just one morning. The nation was in shock, stunned, angry, and afraid. Airports were shut down, stock markets crashed, the entire country froze. In response, the U.S. launched the War on Terror. It invaded Afghanistan to target Al-Qaeda and later Iraq, sparking 2 decades of conflict. Security at home changed forever, from airport screenings to the creation of the Department of Homeland Security. 9/11 reshaped American foreign policy, law enforcement, and identity. The world would never be the same. Number 1. The Great Depression of 1929 to 1933. In 1929, Wall Street collapsed and the country fell with it. Stock prices crashed, banks failed, and millions of Americans lost everything. By 1933, unemployment hit 25%. People lined up for food, lived in shanty towns, and searched garbage for scraps. It wasn't just an economic crisis, it was a crisis of faith. Many believed capitalism had failed. Some feared a revolution. In Germany and Italy, similar crises led to fascism. But in the U.S., President Franklin D. Roosevelt offered something different: the New Deal. Massive government programs, jobs, public works, banking reforms. It didn't fix everything, but it gave Americans hope. And it helped save democracy in the process. 5 moments and 5 near disasters. Each time, America faced a breaking point and somehow held on. But history doesn't stop. So the real question is, will the next crisis be the one America can't recover from? History almost repeated itself, and it might again. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories that shape the world.